License and Health Committee meeting comes to order.
Ma'am?
We need to, I don't think we need to have a roll call because we're all present.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I think we're all here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all here. Yeah, well,
Physically, right?
Looks to be fine.
all right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move for approval of the minutes of the special meeting of March 16, 2021, and the recess meetings of April 7th and April 20th,
Second.
2021.
All in favor of the approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. So we move on with item new and previous matters. We have, we held that this item last time, I believe, 2021 and 03, is a consideration of Class B temporary permits extension requested for BS LLC DBA barcode 2110 South 60th with one exception from the proximity to residential premise requirements establishment in less than 200 feet from residential premises for the normal term Saturday before Memorial Day to the first Monday in September and September 19. The applicant is here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You want to sit here?
Sure.
So you did apply for
An extension.
Yeah, okay, an extension.
Yes.
Okay.
And
All right.
what it basically is it's a part of a brewer game because we started this at the beginning of the year because the brewers weren't having their tailgating. So come to our bar, we'll sell inside our premise, and then you can take out in plastic or whatever, plastic or cans
Sure.
outside, and we have a TV outside on the side of the building to watch the game, and then do outdoor activities. We have the bags, and we have giant Connect 4, different games that you would do at a tailgate party. We're not selling outside and things like that, but we just would like to do activities out there.
Out there.
And to be honest with you, maybe 4 people out of the 15 to 30 take a beer outside, and we make sure that it's cleaned up afterwards, and there hasn't been complaints by anybody. And
So you would have somebody to kind of oversee if somebody go over steps on the street or...
absolutely, yeah, we clean up afterwards and make sure like the city streets cleaned up and garbage is taken care of, and our customers have done phenomenally well by helping us keep our neighborhood
Good.
cleaned up.
Any question from the committee
Mr.
members?
Chair, I
Yes,
just have one
Alderman
question. Obviously, the exception, you're only asking for the exception with the 200 feet because of the residential area.
It's right.
So
it's
no
just,
music, no anything like
No,
that? You're
it's
just
just the
tables,
little-
bags, games?
It's the little TV outside that
Okay.
has the game, and then we clean up less than an hour after the game is finished. And it's usually afternoon games, so we're cleaned up by 7 p.m.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I would move to approve.
Second.
All in-
Mr. Chair,
Oh, go ahead. Thank you.
how close in proximity are you to residential property?
Our next door neighbor is 3 feet away,
3 feet away?
basically. And then we have across the alley, maybe 30 feet to 50 feet away. And then across 60th Street, we have apartment complex that has multiple units, and nobody's ever complained. The police have never come and caused like a noise nuisance or anything of the sort.
I've never complained about it.
No,
No,
no.
I don't think so, Red.
Okay. Thank you.
So any further questions? Otherwise, we can move. There's a second. All in favor of the second?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you for coming. Eh?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good
Enjoy your
night.
summer.
Sure. Now we move on with the 2021-03-392 consideration of Class B temporary premises extension request for Doppelganger LLC DBA Dops Bar and Grill 1753 South 60th Street with one exceptions from from the proximity, the residential premises requirements establishment in less than 200 feet from the residential permits for normal term Saturday before Memorial Day to the first Monday in September. So
Correct.
you're next, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds like me. I had a Tavern League golf outing today,
Sure.
and I raced back to get here.
Great
So-
day for it.
Yeah, well, it was kind of cold.
Oh.
So what you were looking for to,
To have the extension of premise from Memorial Day, which until Labor Day, outside area that I did my temporary premise before. Just that area, no real, like I have 3 parties typically planned. Like this Saturday, I have my luau and my VIP drawing. And then I have usually 2 things. And then maybe people just walking outside, sitting on my park benches, sitting on my picnic tables in that little area.
sure, but you have no music outside.
Well, music outside during those 3 events. Maybe if somebody wants to play music, do a blues band outside. I have no qualms from Mike, my neighbor, and the people next door. They keep kind of moving, so I don't know them.
Yes,
Mr.
And I-
Chair.
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And just, let people outside to drink
Sure.
when they want to, close, and smoke and drink. And then, like she said, like Sally said, my neighbors and my people, my customers, they all keep track of. They clean up more than I do. I mean, you know what?
Never
we're all on
any
it.
police report by you, right?
No,
No, as far as that. Yeah.
no.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
do you have any other activities?
yeah, Christian.
In this area?
Do I have any other activities? Well, I do a la carte if we had it, but we don't. And then August 4th, I think there's something. I would like to be more involved with the city, of course, always, because I live here. And then I've got the Granite Hills thing going across the street. So out front, there is, which I bought tables 2 years ago to put in my sidewalk area. I think I have 3 of them so that people can eat lunch and have a beer if they want to. So I want to put those out, but I wanted to wait till I had permission.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Christian?
I did have just the one question, because you said on the application it had noted that there was nothing different. However,
Yes.
I didn't notice that any bands were listed, and you just mentioned like having a blues band. And I just want to clarify, is that added to the application, or is that inclusive? If it's non-amplified music, I'm just trying to make sure that
Sure.
this is noted
You know,
on
these
this
guys,
exception.
because they cannot do many, they can't do a lot of church festivals, but they can do outside, like all those, what do you call those, in the park things. So all those people, like I've got a lot of polka guys that do the traveling thing. They would like to play outside once in a while.
Well, I'm just curious to know, it's not marked as an exception, and it needs to be, I believe, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
maybe we should
If we
clarify
just
that,
wait
yes.
1 second.
I want to bring about the music. It's listed in here. That's what I
Right,
wanted to ask about, yeah.
it's listed, but is it listed as an exception? Because I'm only seeing the exception is establishment is less than 200 feet.
Right.
So it is not listed, that
That's
bands
good.
are listed, and that would be another exception to be considered.
If there, it depends, there's sound limitations. So
Sure.
the sounds may not be audible from 200 or more feet
Oh,
from the area, then you would need an exception. So,
200 more feet, like down the alley? Sometimes, I don't know.
Depends on where you have the music pointing towards, correct? The amplification. So if it's pointing towards the hospital,
Oh, no.
Well, and
Just
if
a little
I-
bit in the backyard.
If I may expand.
Sure.
I know that you did this last year. There wasn't this
Before.
framework, right?
Sure.
This wasn't the
Yes.
framework, and now there is. I just want to make sure that your exceptions are approved as
Yes.
you are requesting them. So if we'd say, yes, you can go ahead, and then all of a sudden you're having bands,
Yeah, no.
you know, that's not on the permit.
Correct.
We need to
Yeah, to clarify
approve that. And we need to
but-
make sure that that exception is not an issue as far as decibels, because anything with amplified music, we have to set
What is amplified music like? Speakers
a
outside?
band.
yep,
So they do.
PA system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, when they're out there, they have a PA system.
Right, so we would need to add that as an
Yes,
exception
if you
is what
could,
we would need
please.
to do. So what direction would we take with this and
It's an additional $150 and then $25 per week. So I don't know if you're going to be having this every week or if you know which.
No, it's for sure. June 27th, I have one, and I have nothing planned of outside music. So not a week. I don't need that. Absolutely not. I'm not into that because that's a lot of work. And $150 to have it open for once in a while. Is that how that works, or?
It would be to have that exception added to your permit so you could have the music. But
Okay.
then it's an additional $25 for each week. It doesn't matter if you're out there 1 day or 7 days. I don't think they would approve 7 days, but
Yeah, no.
so
So
for this,
I would say
June
if I have one a month, that'd be a lot. So how does that work?
I think she should tell us the days, right?
Right.
we would
Yeah,
need
I have
to know the
nothing
days.
planned
Okay.
other than June 27th, and that's about it right now.
So with these exceptions, would we need guidance on this? That in turn
Yeah.
you'd have to
Can I have
come back?
music out there? Like if somebody says, Tammy, we want to just throw our, the guys that do the polka bands in the wherever they do their things, right?
Beer
Like they did
gardens?
West Milwaukee, all those guys. We go to see them, and they come by me. The Constantina and all them. They want to play outside every once in a while. So can I let them?
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes.
So the goal of this is that the city is on notice and we can make sure we have the right amount of
Sure.
resources allocated to it and we're not just surprised and the neighbors aren't surprised.
Correct.
So the goal is to have some type of advanced notice on what you're trying to do. It sounds like at this point you have a general idea of what your plan could be without
Right.
kind of dates set in stone. So my advice to the committee is either you can approve it and she can come back with dates certain, or we can hold this and you can kind of investigate dates that you're interested in having.
Wow.
Either way, I would recommend that we have, if there's going to be bands on premises, that get added on, and then there be some type of decibel restriction to kind of keep in mind.
Sure, these guys aren't loud. These guys aren't like Polly's or anything like that. These guys are, I'm just saying, they're just polka bands that play
So
in the parks.
they're not above 86 decibels.
No, and I don't have the room for it, and I don't have the, I don't want that. It's just like outside guys that want to play. So if I can somehow, like if guys say, can we do it next Tuesday at 5 to 7? Am I okay with that? I would like to be.
So you're
somehow
doing it
proof-
more impromptu. You're not planning
Kind of.
ahead. So if they come to you, and I think that's what
Yeah.
our assistant attorney is trying to say is
Yeah.
we would like that framework set up.
If I have a big band, then I have to let you know. That would be okay with that.
Well, any
Right now, it's
amplified
basically
music,
any amplified music would be.
Is amplified like what they do in the parks?
polka, anything.
Yes.
If you're having somebody
Okay.
playing music and it's more than a piano or an acoustic
Well,
guitar,
there's a couple speakers, yeah.
right, then you're going to need to make sure that the city's aware. So my
Okay.
advice to the committee is either we can approve it with a decibel requirement and kind of, I don't want to say an honor system because I think that gets to be a bit loose.
But I've been here for 11 years at my spot, and I've not had any problems.
Well, and it's not the matter of the problems. What I would recommend, since you don't have the dates and you're kind of like that, if they want to come
People
play,
just want to go, like,
20
Tammy, let's, in 3 weeks, can we do it? I want to say, yes, get your guys together.
Right,
They're
but-
50s and 60s and...
Right, but Tammy, it sounds like
Yes.
you do have this kind of on a regular basis. So
I just wanted to be
that
approved
$25 a week, I think, would be reasonable to say that $150 exception and $25 per week for the remainder through September would be an appropriate fee. Whether you're having it once a week or 3 times, as long as we set the standard, as Attorney Sturwin said,
Okay.
that we have a certain decibel, then you don't have to worry about keep coming back.
Okay.
We're not doing the honor system type of thing. I
Okay.
think it's just set in stone. $25
$100 a
for the
month?
remainder of the summer per week. I think it's worth your while to do so.
Mr. Chair,
If you
But
have-
you have to make that decision
Sure.
if it's worth your while.
quick question.
Yes.
That's what I understand. You're saying you don't always have it every week, right?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
My question
Zero.
is, she pays a $150 fee. That's for the whole rest of the summer, correct? First, that would be cover the whole summer, correct?
So that people can go outside and have a beer, and I don't
Right,
have.
I understand. So let me
okay,
finish.
is that
Okay.
right? Correct.
So
Okay.
she pays the $150 fee from now until Labor Day, correct?
But then an additional
Correct.
$25.
Right, but what I'm saying is if she's not going to have it every week, can she come back to you and say, we're going to do it this week and pay the $25, and then she goes 3 weeks and doesn't do it instead of paying $100 a month? That's what I'm just finding out if you can do that.
Yeah, because no way will I have it every week.
Well, my suggestion was going to be that perhaps the committee would say she's allowed to have it 1 or 2 times a month, and then she has to tell us like a week ahead of time when it is.
And I would
do
my
that.
suggestion too is that maybe that one of the conditions is with 5 days advance notice to the city, and
Yes.
that way if there's something, or more or less, I'm not sure, but if there's something,
Yeah, for sure.
that way if there's something bigger than what the city has been aware of or kind of been explained to us here, there can be some communication of that, and then we would also know when.
Yeah, I'm not big on the bands, but I got these guys, all the guys that play in a lot of them, 50s,
Mr. Chair?
60s,
Yes.
all my country guys.
Let me,
Mr. Chair, I have a question
Yes.
actually for Attorney Serwin. Considering we kind of learned as, we're learning as we
Right?
go.
Me also. Learning.
Can we put a condition that if there are complaints or neighbor complaints that we can revisit this? Because we did not put that in as a condition on others, and I think it's important that if it does exceed that and it becomes an issue, that we have some weight to kind of call this back in. If there is any issues
I
or no.
understand, yeah, I understand the intent. I think it would have to be a violation of one of the provisions or Chapter 125, as opposed to if there's issues, we can revoke it. So there have to
Got
be
it.
some violation for us to revoke, other than people are cranky.
Okay, right. I just want to make sure
Right?
that
That somebody's got a jag on and
I
calls.
would not advocate for that to be a position or a condition that I would advocate that whatever conditions we put in place have some teeth, and then we would have to move forward with revocation. And just so you're aware, and so the committee's aware, we've talked about this before, but this is extending your premises. And so even if somebody screws up on this extended premises, your whole license,
sure.
is in jeopardy. Okay?
I've got cameras.
Yeah, and I'm just, it's something to be aware of for people who are deciding to take on more risk by opening themselves up more. You also, the risk is that your
Yes.
license would be in jeopardy. We can't just revoke this extended premises. It would be revoking your entire license.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may, I would make the motion to approve the extension request with the exception of the 200 feet from residential premises, and add the music as needed to the permit, and as recommended, a 5-day advance notice to the city for any music outside.
Who would I
And that
contact?
it is within the decibel of, do we set a standard of the decibel within this?
I think in the conditions you would put the decibel level and the foot distance that you're interested in having. Just because other places have certain decibel levels doesn't mean you have to follow that same method, as long as it's reflected on the temporary license. And then
Okay.
one more question on the 5-day notice. Could we put that in writing, just so when it's provided, there's some record of that taking
Yes.
place?
Yes.
Send it to the clerk's office.
Yes, so you would have to put it in writing, whether
appreciate
email
that.
or otherwise, to the
I'll
clerk's
come in
office.
right here.
she can
Sorry,
stop
did
here.
you?
It's not that far.
No, it's not that far. I come in here all the time.
Tammy, as we're speaking, and I need you to acknowledge so we know that you're
Yes.
actually agreeing to this, that I'm not just putting it out
Correct.
there. So the 5-day advance notice in writing, and not to exceed twice per month, unless.
sure.
Do we need to put any more condition on that? No more than 2 bands per month is what we were saying?
Well, that's what she,
That's what she was
for sure.
indicating.
Yeah, because that's
Absolutely.
basically what you're
that's
saying.
what she
So-
said.
100%
Okay, so
with that, but yes.
if I made any sense in my motion, Nick, would you mind reading it back?
Yeah, I have 5-day notice requirement for any music outside, and that has to be in writing, either via email or paper. And then not more than 2 bands or 2 outside music events per month. And then was there going to be a part of that motion, the decibel and foot or the distance level?
Yes, distance level not to exceed, what is our standard that we do?
The decibel level that we did was 100, but
100 is it. Yeah.
But we are in a residential area, so I would say it should be lower.
It should be no more than 70.
Maybe 80.
75
Yeah.
is what I was going to say, but 80 is fair.
And then,
Can we add a condition to do spot checks if need be? We don't need to. It's not a routine thing,
It's not going to
so
be a
forget
condition,
that.
but
Yeah.
I will send, I mean, the health department can be made aware of
Okay.
these, and if there's a violation, whether we're doing spot checks or not on this, it's a violation.
can we
Okay.
make the PA facing the hospital, since it's not ready yet?
If it's a requirement, yes.
Yeah, because I don't want it pointing at people's houses.
PA is right behind my garage, or right behind the bar that aims toward the alley. So the hospital is out front, so nothing goes that way. It's right behind my little bar.
But isn't it going to affect the neighbors?
To the
If it's
west.
pointing, if it's in the
There's
alley, if it's in the alley and the speakers are pointing in the alley,
Those guys come over and like it, typically. I mean,
Fair enough.
I give them free food and they
They
have
join
a free
in.
beer or something. Yeah. And they're like, well, you got
Those
good
guys
music.
down at Paulie's, they were here a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask you,
really like it.
throughout the 11 years, you never really had any, you had outdoor music already before, right?
Somewhat.
Somewhat, but I
I
mean,
have
just
classic
probably
country
once
and
a
music.
month maybe, or once a year, twice a year.
I have I have 3 outside extension of premises that I've gotten. And typically they're just for sometimes karaoke, But
Karaoke.
right?
Scary.
Because those guys, people
That would
like
be
it.
if I was there.
Seriously. And then classic country, and then I usually have my VIP luau, which is this coming Saturday.
So
So I
basically,
do not have.
basically, I mean, you never really had any incurrences.
No, I just have outside parties, and then sometimes music inside.
So on the emotion,
real quick, one thing.
yes.
So when she wants to do it for the 5-day advance, then she would come in and pay the $25 fee, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we need to set the
Foot.
distance.
Yep, we have
And then
80
I also-
decibels at 80 decibels at what distance?
83 or
If we're doing 80 decibels, we want to do 80 feet.
Oh yeah, perfect. And then I also have to pay the 150.
Right.
Okay,
So,
and I paid 250 already.
yeah.
Okay.
And just to make sure the record's clear, Mr. Chair, so you said this weekend you have an event?
Yes,
All right, and that would be, I have to look at
I
the,
have
27th, she stated.
part of this,
627.
that would be under this.
Yeah, it would
Would be added to
It's
this.
going to the council on Wednesday. So
Right. Okay, but do we need any more written notice or notice that
I
is going to
think
be a
this
written?
is probably sufficient for that. The committee is okay with it.
Yeah, we can add that to this, and any future would be the 5-day written.
no, these
Yeah.
guys are good guys. They're not like crazy.
All right, so just
No,
for the
that's too
record
much
then-
work.
Just for the record, we have 5-day notice requirement for any music outside. It has to be in writing or via email. There has to be no more than 2 times that outside music or event per month, and those distances would or that sound level would have to be 80 decibels or less at 80 feet
Correct. Yes.
from the amplification.
Yep. Perfect. I appreciate it.
Motion?
Yes, it is.
Second.
Got it. All in favor of the emotion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
So then I will.
All right, Dean.
Yeah.
Dean, you're next now.
This should be easy peasy. Dean's up.
So we have item 4 now,
Thanks, Tammy.
2021-0400.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Considerations of Class B temporary premises extension request for the DTR Enterprise LLC DBA Studs Pub Sport Bar and Grill 6833 West National Avenue with 2 exceptions. The first exception is from proximity to residential premises requirements, establishment less than 200 feet from residential premises, and exceptions from the marking of of the area requirement for the normal term Saturday before Memorial Day or the first Monday in September. So, Dean, I understand you're not going to have no music. You just want to set up some tables.
No, Mr. Vitale, I just want to keep it real simple. I want to put
You should have asked to go first.
a couple of picnic tables on the side. No music, umbrellas. People want to go outside for the next 3 or 4 months, have a beer, and my food's been taken off pretty good. And a lot of people ask, "Hey, can I eat outside?" So that's all I really wanted.
Move to approve.
No bands?
Second.
No bands, no. Keep
Move
just
to approve.
keep it real simple.
Okay, we got one approval.
We got a second, yep.
We got a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dean.
great.
Take care, Dean. eh?
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
I appreciate it.
Welcome, have a good one.
You too.
All right. Now we have item 5, 2021-0441, consideration of Class B temporary permit extension request for the Buzzard Nest 6th House, West Mitchell, with one exception of proximity to residential premises requirements establishment in less than 200 feet from a residential premises for their annual Cricket Fest Dart Tournament, Saturday, July 7th. Well, I didn't see you for a long time. No, I just used to call the kids. I mean,
To my brothers.
brother,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So what I have is just on the phone because Larry, the owner, he's out of town. So
Yes.
he basically is what they're doing because Cricket Fest draws a lot of people. So they want to set a tent up outside, and they'll put up some tables, and there'll also be a taco truck in the parking lot, and they'll rope off the parking lot. And then he said this will probably just so any of the overflow of people who are not shooting can sit outside then.
Okay.
And this is a one-time event, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Let's make it a motion.
No bands, no music,
No,
just a cricket fest. And what is a cricket fest?
it's a dart tournament.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
You got it.
Yeah, thank you.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Take care.
Thank
to
you.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good
You
luck.
too.
All right.
What are we approving
Boy,
for Ed tonight?
We're so effective, you know?
I just missed you guys.
Just ask Ed.
We're so effective here.
He's learning from this.
Because Happy's here, maybe that's why. Okay, we have item 6.
Move to approve.
Second.
Need a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Then we have a recommendation, item 7, consideration of Class A, B, C alcohol license and public entertainments renewal applications.
Mr.
The
Chair.
lists are available, I think, on the
Yeah.
Yeah,
website.
there's numerous pages.
I know,
of
I
all
see
the
it, yeah.
renewals.
Page 27 through 40.
So the items that might be of interest to you, there's one liquor license with the police report, Mr. Singh, he's the last one. And then there's also, I don't know if you want to talk about that one first. and then-
Yeah, whatever you want to,
Okay.
sure.
So Jaswinder Singh, 8423 West Cleveland,
Yes.
2020 citation for disorderly conduct, I think is
Correct.
the only.
New offense, yeah.
There's a new offense, we need to,
And that's for his liquor license?
Yeah.
It is a Class A liquor license. He has a disorderly conduct ticket. The remainder of the items would not be something we can consider. They were dismissed. And so if you look at the NCIC report or the works report, it does list other information, but the resolution was with a disorderly conduct ticket.
May I ask, did this take place on premise?
No, it was from Oak Creek.
Okay. Move to approve.
Second.
all in favor of the motion? We have a second?
Just for clarity's sake, I'm sorry,
Yes.
is that just to approve this one individual, or is this the entire item 7?
I think we should.
Oh, I don't want to do entire item 7 all at once.
Okay.
I've got some issues with some of
We
them.
got some questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
So this is just regarding, the motion is for Mr.
Singh.
Singh.
okay.
Do you want to do each section at a time, maybe? That would be,
I just have 4 of them that I have questions on.
So
they
let's,
under the changes.
you want to
They're
vote
under
on
right
that
here,
one?
first page.
We just want to, We have the
So page
motion already.
27 of
Okay.
the-
Well, the motion's on the table for Mr. Singh already, so
Yeah.
why don't we just be in the, there's a motion, there was not a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, then
All in
we'll
favor?
go accordingly after.
Aye.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, let's move on.
So I was looking through this list, and under Class A malt licenses, there's 3 gas stations. Am I correct on that? The Fast Fuel Convenience on 60th and National, the Pantry 41 on 105th and Greenfield, and BP Sunrise. Is that correct? Those are all gas stations?
I know the BP Sunrise is for sure.
Yeah, and the Fast Fuel Convenience.
Would be, yeah, it's got it right in the
I have
name.
the applications before me right now.
The 60th and National would be the new owners that had taken over that
Right.
other gas station that had their temporary.
But we only issued him
Until
through July
1st. Yes.
Correct.
And then
So-
and then that Pantry 41, that's the one right by the railroad track bridge.
on the south
On the
side.
south side, correct?
So
one
you
are
said
you
you have
referring to?
concerns, Tracy? What would they, what?
Well, I don't support alcoholic gas stations, so I want to vote no.
Oh,
That's why I want them separated.
but there is no works report stating that there has been any problems with these establishments?
I still am standing by my vote. That's why I
Well,
want-
that's fine.
And then there's the Class A malt and Class A cider only license for the Quick Trip. So those were the 4. that
So
I-
you'd like to take those out individually?
Yes.
And look at
So
those?
if,
Quick Trip are you talking about now? Oh, the bottom
right
one.
here. This one, right here.
Yeah.
That's Quick Trip. And then this one here is a gas station. This one here is a gas station. That one is a
Right,
gas
this
station.
is the one.
Just for the record, can I have again which ones we're talking about?
yeah,
So if you're looking at this list,
Got it.
the second one down for the
That's
Class
the
A
Fast
malt.
Fuel Convenience 2 LLC?
Yep.
Yes, Benepal.
which page?
Yep.
25?
And then the one after that is Pantry 41. And then the one after that is the BP Sunrise. And then the only one under the Class A malt, Class A cider only license, that's Quick Trip.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, all person.
I move for approval of all renewals.
Oh.
We need a second?
If we do all, then we can't separate the,
If,
Well, you can vote on it. I made a motion to approve. You can vote no if you so choose.
well, I don't want to vote no on all of them. I only want to vote no on the gas station ones.
is
That's
the
why I'm
gas
asking to
station
separate
has
them.
any records of violations?
No, I just don't support alcoholic gas stations.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes.
So there's a motion on the table. There needs to be a second. Procedurally, I think the question was if the vote goes no, then what do we do with all the rest of them? Are they all declined then? There can be, as long as the motions are unique,
Separate
there can
the-
be different or unique motions if a motion fails. And so if this motion fails, there needs to be a second again. But if this motion fails, a new motion can be made that's unique or different than the most recent motion.
Yeah, see, I was trying to separate the
Right,
gas
and I
stations
would like to see them
from.
separated too. I
Then there wouldn't. There's a motion on the table that can either be withdrawn, or if there's no second, it would move on. One more piece of advice for the committee then is that but for whatever the license was, and I might need information on this one, but for whatever was conditionally approved, that entity automatically surrender their license as of the last license period. Anybody else who's been previously approved, we'd have to go through the revocation process.
But if, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
but if the motion is approved, we've just either voted no or yes for all 4.
For all the whole.
All of them.
All of them.
Not
Oh,
even
no,
just
then,
for
then
everything.
okay, then,
That's why I want them separated.
right, but there's a motion to vote and approve all of them right now.
Right.
However, Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
may, I think Attorney Serwin just outlined the fact that, yes, you can indicate your vote as a no, but if that is the case and the majority on that would be no, then we would be revocating. I put the motion on to approve all. If we have a second, we can move forward. Otherwise, then it's dead. So it's up to the remaining committee members. I put the motion to approve,
I would-
and that's all of them.
So I'll make the second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
I don't know why you can't separate them.
So
Again, why can't we separate these?
You can, but there was already a motion made, so procedurally,
Vote against this.
yeah,
they
procedurally,
vote against it, that's it.
Right, but again, if we're voting against it,
Well,
And I'm voting against all of them.
Mr. Chair,
you're not voting against all of them, you're voting against that motion, and so a new motion can be made. It's not automatically all rejected then. It is just, this item is still outstanding, and there'll have to be a new motion and a new second and a new vote or a new discussion.
So my
Miss-
question is, I was in the middle of asking for these to be separated, and a motion was made. How does that work?
You were speaking that a motion was made and it was seconded.
Right, but I was asking for these to be separated before the motion was ever made.
Okay, and maybe I didn't
And so
hear
the
it.
motion was made over my asking these to be removed. How does that work?
You made the second, right?
No, I did not make
you
this.
made the second.
I mean, I know, but I
Mr.
thought it
Chair,
before him.
can I clarify this
Yes,
just to
yes.
see if Attorney Serwin can give guidance to Alderman Rote and Stefanski? Can it be publicly noted for the record that you do not approve of the 4? Just to say that, obviously you're making a point that you do not want to approve any liquor license with a gas station. I went to approve all because there was a condition that we gave that gentleman when he came in, as long as there were no problems up to July 1st, that we would have no problem with that liquor license. So I think that's going against what we had already said to these gentlemen.
I voted
They
no
held-
on that one, too.
Pardon me?
I voted no on that.
I know, but it's already on the record. You voted no then. You want to vote no now. I'm not going to retract the motion. We have a second. We can go to vote on the motion. And however the chips fall, they fall. If you want to note it on the record that you don't support liquor license for gas stations, I think you already did that.
So can we vote present then?
Okay, what the president's still doing.
As long as there's a sufficient amount of votes to meet the quorum, yeah.
And we don't even know how the vote's going to go on the
Right, but
motion
I'm not
right now.
So,
anyhow.
so we have an emotion on the table.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
but I'm not absolutely in favor of denying all the 4 that were mentioned on the other end of the table. There's just a couple that I'm interested in not having a license.
So if the only one that I'm aware of is one of those applicants has surrendered their license as of the end of this period, and so that one's a new license, the committee can take that one up very specifically.
Who's that?
That's going to be
60th and National, right?
Not in the Class A malt licenses we're talking about, correct?
no, is that the Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC? I'm trying to make sure that I have the right.
I do not. Fast Fuel is the guy on 60th and National that some of us voted no, and it just through July 1st.
That was conditionally approved with
Right.
a condition that he automatically surrendered it, and I believe he signed off on that. And I believe I gave the clerk's office that document. So that's the only one of these that wouldn't have to go through a revocation process. That one individually, you can decide not to issue a new license and should make a record of that in some way, but that's a new application. The rest of them would be have already obtained those licenses, and so they have a property interest in those. In order to not renew this license, we would have to basically go through the revocation process. There is a slightly unique or different way to do it. As you recall from the e-visuals, I issued that notice of intent not to renew, but that's going to be based on some convictions or some type of issue at the property, as opposed to we're not interested in having you here anymore. That I am recommending the committee is could be problematic.
It would be real. I think we be in conditions or shape for lawsuits. Really.
Because you can only not
I mean,
renew.
really, in all fairness, that's the way I look at it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So would that be a problem with parliamentary procedure then? Because I was asking them to be separated before the motion was made.
I understand that point. So I guess what I'm keying in on is the magic words of a motion was made, and I think you were. I wasn't. I guess I didn't know if you were having a discussion point or you were asking for some.
I was asking
activity
for these 4 to be removed as a separate vote. That's what I was in the middle of doing.
It'd be my position that the motion was made and completed prior to that point. Robert's Rules of Order are used to organize these meetings, okay? But it's basically the purview of the committee how you want to proceed. My recommendation would be there's a motion and a second, and to proceed on that motion and a second. If you're not in favor, a new motion can be made to approve all but XYZ. And that could be a discussion item, and then you can go through each one of those and make a motion, or you can make a motion to separate them out. However you want to proceed, but I think we have to address that the motion and the second have occurred. I think it's a discussion or a point. Your point is noted. I didn't perceive it as anything different than a discussion item or a motion. It was we were talking.
And Mr. Chair, may I add to this?
Yes.
If we decide to revoke, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
If
You
we
go ahead,
decide to
Roosevelt.
revoke, we have to come up with a valid reason.
Under Chapter 125, Sub 12, it has to be one of the reasons for revocation on the licenses that weren't surrendered at this point, if that makes
But
sense.
on a surrendered license, you don't have to.
On a surrendered license, yes, that is correct. On a surrender license, that is a new application, and so just like any other new application, you could say this doesn't not appropriate for the community. Whatever rationale we have, we've gone over those a few times. But it's the same thing as a Class B in a neighborhood. If you don't want something out there, whatever it may be.
And Mr. Chair, may I ask one final question? This is the committee that is making the recommendation for approval or denial. It still goes before council, in which wouldn't it be appropriate that Alderman Rote and Stefanski could pull this out for individual vote if they so chose? Or would they refer it back to committee? I mean, I think this is kind of silly that we're doing this, but I don't want to be dismissive of if I stepped over toes. I thought it was a discussion too, so my apologies to you, Alderman Stefanski, on that. I just thought that it was a discussion item that you were bringing up, that you did not like the gas stations to have liquor licenses.
Have the fast fuel, Mr. Chair, fast fuel, have they given back their license?
Yeah, June 30th is the last day of the license period, and that's when they signed that they would surrender it automatically. And so they don't have to, I mean, it'd be nice if they brought that piece of paper back, but they've already agreed that it's surrendered as of that date, so they don't have to do anything.
I mean, they surrendered their license.
So they'd have to come back for...
To me, really, the fact stands that we cannot really say, I don't like these gas stations, or I like the other one. This is not the proper directions, really. No, I think, and I believe strongly that if that particular business that has a liquor license, if they have a violations, the police were there, that something happens, well, then, of course, we can pursue with revocations. But until really there's nothing has been happening in that establishment, we cannot really, once we approve it, we can say, well, I don't like this guy, I like the other place, that's okay, To me, I don't think that that's a standard that I think the council or the licensing out ever done anything like that, really. It's based on the license. If it's violations, then I believe the license and health and the council has the authority, I think, to follow through. But as long as no charges, to me, that's a wasting time, really. To otherwise we can have a sponsoring, say a resolution, whoever the alderman wishes to follow, to say we in the future when the liquor license lapse, we're not going to renew any liquor license for gas stations. For the future. But at this time, if somebody's got a license, until they have no violations, we have no leg to stand on it because we give them the license. That's the way I look at it. So to me, the proper way would be, and again, each of us has the rights to vote how you feel. So if you want to vote no, you can vote no. But then you vote no for the entirety of those six applicants. That's the way it's going to be.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
It's not a matter, me, I don't speak for anybody else, but me, it's not a matter of whether I like the guy or not. It's a matter of consistency. I voted against it 2 months ago. I'm not going to change my mind now.
And you have the rights.
I know I do, but you said it's like It's a
You have
matter of,
the
do we
rights
like
to-
the guy or not? No, it has nothing to do with who I like and who I don't like.
Yeah.
It has a matter of the gas stations and liquor.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes, well,
It's not giving us the option to vote how we want to vote, because I want to approve the other locations, but I don't want to, I want to vote no against the gas stations. And now because of this, I have to either vote no or present.
or perhaps maybe it should have been done a little early in the fact that is as to me as an alderman, if I need something that I don't like it, maybe I can say, can we separate this at the meeting ahead of time, and it could be read out 2 or 3 people that any of us are opposing for. I mean, to me, it could be done that way, you know. And I don't think I see any fault of anyone really to enclose all of them, all 6 of them. To me, I mean, as an alderman, I think I can call, say, Nick or Rebecca, the clerk office, and says, I would like those 2, perhaps if it could be brought up in a different category, you know, and in a different.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah, Mr.
It's too
Chair.
late.
It's too late now. What I'm
Chair.
saying, it could be done early.
Don't I ask you, and anybody else ask you at a meeting when we're going through the agenda, can you please separate this item?
Usually the chairperson or the mayor, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we
okay.
can do that.
I don't want to say this, but I feel like I need to. There's new entertainment licenses, you know, we combined them all, so there's some people towards the end that added entertainment to their license. So just to make sure that when we did know what was new, so as you're approving everything, you're also approving that new entertainment. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that.
And which highlights would those be? Which bullet point?
The ones in the back here.
Page
Way in the back.
They changed the entertainment license right here.
Yeah.
Is that what page is it?
Brass
Tracy?
Monkey, that's page 38.
38 and 39.
And then Crawdaddies. And then
Okay.
the number above
I get
them.
I wasn't paying particular
I
close
just wanted
attention
to
there.
point that out.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just want to reiterate as well that, so a vote in favor of this would approve all of the license. A vote no is not rejecting any licenses at this point. It's a vote to go back and vote on something again. It could pass 3-2, and then the entire thing is approved as the motion was. It could fail 3-2, and then it's back on the table for a new motion or ongoing discussion. And so I understand the concern about how to vote, but you're voting on the motion. You're not voting on each individual applicant as much as you like them or don't. And so I think that's the decision that has to be made at this point.
So at this time, the motion was made. So I would like to, the second was announced. Yeah, I did it. So I move for voting. So the I did vote yes, of course, but I would like to get an motion on the table.
Motion's on the table. You
On
have
the
to ask
table
for
already,
aye.
yeah.
Aye or-
So there's a second. So let's vote on it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Can I recommend that we do an individual vote, at least then it's on record for who's voting
Oh,
yes and
sure.
no?
We can do a roll call.
Yep.
Roll
Yeah,
call
let's do a
vote.
roll call.
Alderperson Vitale,
Aye.
Grisham,
Aye.
Ranky,
No.
Rote,
Present.
Stefanski.
Present.
2 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 present.
So it failed.
Correct.
Correct.
Now we can separate.
You can make another motion, proceed as you see fit, yes.
I'll make a motion that we separate the gas stations from the rest of the applications.
All of them as a group or
All the one that you
or
want.
individually?
Okay, individually.
Individual,
Okay.
of course. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, we have the same
Individually.
vote again, you know. So there's an emotion, there's a second.
Second.
Yeah.
Individually.
Second. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yep,
My
individually.
apology.
Individually.
Yes.
The
it was
4
seconded.
people that you wish to vote against, right?
Against or for?
There's 4 of them that I want separated.
Okay, good. So on the emotion, there is a second, I believe.
I seconded it.
Okay.
We're
Roll
going to
call.
take them one at a time.
Roll call.
You want roll call for?
Separating.
We can do a general vote. I will
I mean,
vote
either way,
aye. I'm
either
in
way.
favor. It's already done. Let's pull the floor
Aye.
out, and then we will go to vote.
Okay. All in favor of the ayes.
So
What is this for?
This is a separate item.
So how this really could work is if somebody makes a motion to approve or deny, just for example, Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC.
Oh, instead of separating them?
You can separate it and then try to make sure you're avoiding the situation that happened last time. But a motion to separate them isn't really a thing. I think it's clear on the record what the intent is at this point, and so I guess I would recommend that you just go through each item
one.
that you have a problem with at this point.
Okay. So I make a motion, then I'll retract your second.
I will retract my second. Thank you, sir.
I'll redo my motion.
Okay.
Okay. So my motion is to is for Fast Fuel Convenience. We're deny that.
It's up to you to approve or deny.
It's going to have to be two.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
This is
I think
crazy.
it would be the easiest.
Please
you
tell
would
us.
make a motion to approve all except the 4 that you
okay.
identified.
All right.
And
There's also the new ones at the bottom too. Do you want to leave those off?
Yeah, but did anybody have an issue? I read through
No
those.
one else had
I
any
don't-
problems except those 4, right?
Right,
And
but it's
then-
not all 4 that I have a problem.
No, listen.
I'm sorry.
There's 4 gas stations. That's what Rebecca's
Just
explaining.
Right.
make a motion to approve everything except those 4 gas
Right.
stations.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve all licenses except the 4 gas stations called out.
Second.
And just for the record, those are the Quick Trip, the Fast Fuel Convenience Store 2 LLC, Pantry 41,
And BP Sunrise.
and BP Sunrise.
Yes.
And Mr. Chair, may
Yeah.
I then clarify, because now we're just doing a flip-flop on what just happened before. If I vote in favor, are we looking at then pulling those licenses for the 4 gas stations?
No, there's no motion or anything done
Okay.
on those licenses yet. They will be outstanding for decisions. This is just for everything but those.
Okay, so then we will take a secondary vote on those?
Yes.
There will be more on, there has to be more action on any of those.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you for the
What reason are we going to
clarification.
give for revoking them then?
That's a discussion we'll have to have.
Let's discuss that after this vote.
Okay, so there was a motion and there was a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it.
Okay, so now,
I was also going to suggest that someone who wanted to vote in favor of the gas stations make the motion versus you making
Okay.
yours,
Gotcha.
and then possibly that one not
Okay.
passing, and then the other one has. I'm just.
right.
You want
I
to make a
gotcha.
motion?
I believe it's
You can do
through
whatever
and
you
fine
want.
right now, but so that all of them are approved, but for those 4 gas stations, now we should go through each gas station individually and have a discussion
Yes.
about what to do in the motion.
Okay.
Please do, thank you.
So the first one is fast food fuel convenience. I make a motion, or I guess I make a motion to deny.
Second.
So questions
Discussion.
and discussions, of course. The fact stands that if we denied it, per se, say it would be 2 to 3, or so, what would be the consequences for the city?
So this is the only one of these 4 that's going to be a new license. And Rebecca, I'm correct in that. This is that entity, right? So this is a new application because he has surrendered and agreed to surrender the license as of the end of this license period. And so just like any other new license, I would like the record to show why we are denying it if it's being denied. The motion is that the movement is not comfortable with convenience stores and gas stations having alcohol. It's not in a location that you want it to be. Whatever it might be, there's a lot of discretion for new licenses. I'm going to have a much more stringent view on renewal applications as opposed to new applications.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I have to put this on the record because this, in my opinion, for those that are watching even, this is just so out of the norm. And I would like in the future at least noted that if these types of questions or wanting to have particular votes on certain things, that you guys do look in advance. This meeting is absolutely ridiculous at this juncture, in my opinion. But I just have to note that.
Yeah, I kind of, again,
It is not professional in how we're handling this as a
basically, the
committee.
way
It's
really
embarrassing.
Follow through with this to me is not very realistic. I mean,
No.
we try to cause some problem, I think, for the city attorney and
Yes, and I do have to note that Attorney Serwin clearly noted, even though you want to stand on your consistency, that we don't have a leg to stand on in revocation. So besides the fact of you being consistent that you don't agree that gas stations should have liquor, there is really no legal standpoint to say otherwise. Maybe on the new one with the surrendering, but we all sat on this committee and you guys did vote no, speaking of Alderman Rote and Stefanski, for the two gentlemen who came forward. But as we had approved, it was based on if there were no problems, no calls, no this, no that, and he's not even here to ask for his license back. He's surrendering it automatically. So we're voting on this for really no reason in particular, if you're asking me. And I'm asking for clarification on that. He's already surrendered the license, so it's not for a renewal of the surrendered license.
This is a new application.
So it's new application,
Yeah, new application.
and we set those parameters, and we voted in favor of that last time. You could still note that you're not in support of these gas stations and fuel, but I think this really is a waste of time. And I just have to put that on the record.
We talked to him.
My vote was a waste of time.
So I don't
Well,
know
I'm
what-
sorry if you don't like that. I said your vote is a waste of time, but truth be told, what I'm saying is we have our city attorney and our committee here and our administrator that's basically giving us guidance, and you're not listening to it for the point of, cutting off your nose to spite your face. I'm sorry. It's
Mr. Chair.
frustrating.
Yes.
Chair. First of all, I have always stood for the record that I do not support gas stations and alcohol. I do not support it. Okay? So my request here is nothing other than what we do at a common council meeting, which we've done at multiple common council meetings, and ask for items to be separated. I am not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm not doing anything that's out of form. I'm asking things to be separated, just like we always do. Second of all, my vote matters just like every single other person on this committee's vote matters. So me wanting to have separate to be able to vote the way I want to vote is my right. I understand what Attorney Serwin has said, and he said that the people at Fast Fuel have surrendered their license as of June 30th, which means they now have to come for a brand new night license, not a renewal. So I have every right to deny that, just like I voted to deny it the last time. The other ones, I'm still going to vote no because I don't support gas stations and alcohol. That is my stance. I'm not changing my stance, and that's where we're at.
Right. And if I may, Mr. Chair, and I'm going to end it at this, just to have at least a response to what you said, Alderman Stefanski. What I'm saying is we are not taking the legal advice of our city attorney. So you can have all the opinions in the world, but if we're not taking the advice of our city attorney, then that is what I'm saying is a waste of time. So you can say that and say, okay, now we're going to have this discussion why we would revoke them because you don't like this, that, or the other. But our attorney is saying, I'm not advising you to do that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
It's not being revoked, correct? It's not being revoked.
Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC is a brand new license, and so the record should reflect if it is being denied, that new license, some basis or rational basis. Remember we did that training back in May of 2020.
Yes.
Training.
Yep.
So there should be some rational basis for it, and there's a lot of leeway for a new license.
Okay. That's why I want to make it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And I may add, the city attorney isn't advising us how to vote. He's advising us what our options are.
I agree. So I stand corrected on that, Alderman.
Yeah, we
Rowe.
know that, yes. Like I said early, to me, any of us, if he wishes in the future to eliminate all the convenience stores, the gas stations, not having an A and B or A license, well, let's put a resolution on the table. I mean, let's talk about it. That you want to eliminate, but we cannot base, on the individual businessman because I don't like this place here, I don't like that place, but I like the rest of them. Well, we cannot do that. I mean, I said that early. So I think if somebody, one of the aldermen don't like it, some of the gas stations have liquor license, well, then you should sponsor a resolution for the future once they're up for the time comes to elapse. We're not going to renew any more license. To me, then it's got to be approved, of course, by the council.
Chair.
But that's the route to take. But we can't just, I'm going to vote no because, I mean, again, you got the rights to do it, but you got to have some legality. You got to have. I mean, I don't want to jeopardize the city, this council, or the Health and License Committee. We look like a fool, really. In all fairness, we look like a fools.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I believe when I was on the committee or the council last year, it was either 2019 or 2020, I did bring a resolution to eliminate gas stations being allowed to have alcohol sales. And it was denied. So I did already try that.
So you did. So you did it. It was denied.
Mr. Chair, may I ask for Mr. Chair, may I ask for a point of order? I believe we do have a motion on the floor.
Yes.
We need to move along.
There's a motion in a second, correct?
Yes.
Can I just, I'm sorry, I don't want to belabor the point at all, but I want to clarify that you can't legislate out the ones that are renewals, just so you're aware. You can legislate that you won't be able to do any more of those. You can limit your own power to not do any more, but the 4 or 3 that are renewal licenses, you could not stop them unless you're going to revoke them or non-renew them for a very specific reason, being under Chapter 125 2AG. Those are different. So you can't legislate those out. The only motion on the floor right now is the Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC, which is a new application and can be denied based on the discretionary decision of the committee. So that's the motion in the second.
Thank you.
I believe you explicitly you explained to us very clear, Nick. So the fact is that now we vote on it based on what's been discussed already. So I don't want to go over and over, so on the motion, there was a second.
There's a motion to deny.
To deny the 4 up.
No, Fast Fuel Convenience on 60th and National.
Just
the one.
Yep.
This is the new application.
New applications, yes. Okay.
So what is the
The motion is to deny. There's a second to deny. So a vote in favor would be to deny the new application for Fast Fuel Convenience 2 LLC, based on the fact that it is a gas station, and the motion is that we're uncomfortable with a gas station having a liquor license. Okay. So in favor, aye is to deny. Nay is to continue to vote on this.
So on the motion of there was a denial motion.
Correct.
Yep.
So all in favor of the denial?
Aye.
No.
All opposed?
No.
no?
So 3-2. So fail.
I make a motion to approve.
The second one.
Yeah, no, this is back. Now that failed.
Failed.
I make a motion to approve.
Yes. Second.
For the record, approve what? Just Fast Fuel Convenience
Fast
2?
Fuel and the other 3 remaining.
Oh, now we're doing the other 3?
No, let's just leave the 3 out. I'm sorry. I will appease you on this. Fast Fuel.
I think it's kind of how we set up the game. Or not the game, but
Yeah, that's the
process
game
here.
right now.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve Fast Fuel.
I'll second it.
Now
All in
vote.
favor of the seconds?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Opposed?
No.
no.
So 2 opposed and 3 in favors. So let's move on with the
Pantry 41 is the next one. So if somebody wants to make a motion for that.
next one.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor of the second?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
3-2. The motion passed. So we got a.
Next one,
Third.
BP Sunrise.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor of the second?
Aye.
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 Aye. Noes? There's
No.
2 noes and
No,
3.
there's one no.
No.
One no.
1 noes.
4-1.
4-1.
And then the last one is Quick Trip.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
second. All in favor of the second?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
4-1. 1 opposing it and 4 passes. And I believe we are,
And then there's number 8.
okay, now the last one is number 8. So we move on with item number 8, considerations of 2021-2023 operator license, bartender and sales clerk application for review. I believe we
There were a few entities, or not entities, applicants that have new violations. So I'll go through them very briefly, but the list is much longer than this. So I'm just highlighting the 3 that have new violations that I'm aware of. Katharina Larson is a renewal for operator's license. That's a bartender's license. She has a 2021 OWI, occurred in February of 2021, conviction in April of 2021. It was an OWI first. Do you want me to go through all of them, or do you want me to stop there?
Well,
Separate.
Okay. My recommendation on these 3 that I'm going to give are that I would like the clerk's office, if possible, or to issue a temporary operator's license. Then we'll do a notice of non-renewal because this is during the renewal phase, and we have grounds under Chapter 125 with these new convictions that are substantially related to the license activity. So I want to issue a notice of non-renewal. They'll have the chance, just like eVisuals, to come in and challenge that and potentially have a hearing. But in the meantime, while that's going on, we can't just not give them a license and not allow them to work. So there'll be a portion of time there where they're operating only under that temporary license, if that's how you want to proceed.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So that would be the 4 that we're looking at?
There's 3.
The 3, I mean.
Correct. That's my recommendation on these 3.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, I should say 2, and then there's one that I will note that I don't have a disposition on. So do you want me to go through them all? No. Okay. So we're just on Larson.
Larson, yes. And the second one, right?
So we would make a motion to approve, and then
a motion
to deny.
The motion would be to deny,
Yes.
and then I will send that notice of non-renewal, or I guess the motion would be to not renew.
Okay.
And then I would send that notice of non-renewal based on those new conviction, or that new conviction. In the meantime, during the pendency of this,
Now I understand.
that's when the clerk's office would issue this temporary.
Temporary.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion to deny.
Second.
To not renew?
Yeah,
All
not
in
renew.
favor of the second for denial?
Not renew?
Not renew.
Not renew.
Not renew.
Not renew.
Aye.
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 No one opposed? The ayes have it.
All right. I will highlight the most similar one to that one. Crystal Robinson is an operator's renewal. She's got a valid license. She has a dated OWI from 2012, but also a new OWI from March of 2021. There are matters that are pending on that newest OWI. It's set for a potential resolution in the next coming few weeks. And so what my hope would be is that I would like to see that conviction go through with the resisting and an OWI, and then I'll bring that information to the committee. But I think right now it would be appropriate for a motion
To hold it, eh?
to either hold it or issue a notice of non-renewal, and by the time that all
I think
comes
we
through-
should use a non-renewal. I mean, that would be the proper.
I'll make a motion to not renew.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
All right. Justin Klovenbach, an operator's license renewal. He's a valid license. The newest thing I have, or we have, is a March OWI. The issue is that I've called the West Dallas Police Department to try to find the location that happened. It wasn't in West Dallas, as far as I'm aware. And so I was able to find that information. Usually what I do is I follow up with the municipality and get some type of record. I did that on a few of these people. I don't have that. And so this might be one we might have to hold for a period of time, just so I can make sure that that is actually a conviction or working its way through the system. But you can proceed as you see fit.
Does he
Okay.
then,
Make a
Mr.
motion
Chair?
to hold.
Second.
Does he not get an extension then, a temporary extension then, if you do this?
Until a decision is made on this license, my recommendation would be to give him a temporary extension.
Okay.
So we have a motion, second.
This is for the temporary extension.
No, this is to hold it.
Hold it.
To hold
Okay.
it.
We're
to hold
holding
it.
it.
To holding it.
So we need a
He
vote.
finds out more information.
So all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And I will contact that individual and figure out what's going on.
And Singh, we already did earlier.
I don't think we
correct?
have
I think we
any.
did it earlier, correct. So those are the three that I had in this batch. The rest of them don't have new records to consider, and so my recommendation to the committee is if there's not something new, you've already approved these previously, I would think the city has very little legal argument to try to deny somebody at this stage.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So I
Is that all the
believe,
business?
That's it.
that's all the
Motion
business.
to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.